Hello! In this short video, we'll demonstrate how to use WebLogis, an interactive online mapping system, to view overlay districts and natural and environmental resources within Loudoun County. It's important to know the natural features of your property because it may be subject to certain building restrictions if it falls within any of these regions. The regions that will be covered in this video are the Limestone Overlay District, the Mountainside Overlay District, Steep Slope Regions, River and Stream Corridor Resources, and the Floodplain Overlay District. First, you'll need to open up WebLogis by visiting loudoun.gov/WebLogis. Now that you're in WebLogis, you should see a map of Loudoun County, as well as several different parameters on the left side under Contents. The first thing you should do is find your property. Click the Search tab on the left and then click Find Address. Begin typing in your property's address and select it from the list of options. For demonstration purposes, I am simply using the address of the County Government Center building, 1 Harrison Street Southeast. If you know your property's PIN, but not the address, click Parcels, Search by PIN, and enter the PIN. Now that you've pulled up your property, you may find it helpful to see the parcel outline. Click back to the Map tab on the left and take a look at the top where it says Land Records. Click the plus sign next to it to expand more options, then check the box next to Land Records. You should now see the boundary lines of your property or parcel, and you can turn on and off features such as the road center line and address points as you see fit. Now that you have located your address and can view the boundaries of your property, it's time to see if it is within any of the areas mentioned earlier. For the rest of this demonstration, I'm going to turn the parcel boundaries back off to reduce visual clutter. The first overlay district I'll be covering is the Limestone Overlay District. In the Contents section on the left, go ahead and check the box next to Districts and click the plus sign to expand more options. Scroll down to where it says Limestone OD and check that box. You should now see an area of the county highlighted in pink. Now you can look and see if the address you searched for falls within the Limestone Overlay District based on whether or not it is in the pink area. If it is, your property is within an area where the bedrock is made mostly of limestone and sinkholes are more common. As a result, your property may be subject to increased building regulations. Next up is the Mountainside Overlay District. In the Contents section, make sure Districts is enabled and you have clicked the plus sign to show more options, then check the box next to Mountainside OD 1993. Some features can only be seen if zoomed in enough, so if you've enabled a feature but don't see it, you may need to zoom in or out on the map. You should now be able to see a range of areas highlighted on the map in red, yellow, and green. To figure out what these features mean, click the button that says Legend on the left under Contents. Since the feature we just enabled was under Districts in the Contents section, click on Districts in the Legend menu to expand it. There are a lot of options here, but don't get overwhelmed. Just scroll down to where it says Mountainside OD 1993. Now you can see that the colors on the map represent different levels of land sensitivity, with green being the least sensitive and red being the most. Knowing that difference may affect what alterations you are allowed to make to your property if it falls within one of those regions. Also related to the Mountainside Overlay District are spring and ridge feature protections, which are subject to their own building restrictions and can be enabled above Mountainside OD 1993 in the District section. The Steep Slopes region is next. Make sure the box is checked next to Districts under Contents and the menu is expanded, then scroll down and check the box next to Steep Slope. You should now see several areas highlighted in yellow and red. On the left, open the legend, click on Districts, and scroll down to Steep Slope. You can now see that those colors represent moderately steep slopes of 15 to 25% gradients and very steep slopes of 25% gradient or greater. If one of these regions is within the boundaries of your parcel, there are steep slopes on your property, which may be subject to increased building regulation in order to prevent erosion or landslides in the event of land disturbance. Next are the River and Stream Corridor Resources, abbreviated as RSCR and commonly referred to as RISCR. In the Contents section on the left, check the box next to Environmental and hit the plus sign to expand more options. Within those expanded options, check the boxes next to River and Stream Corridor Resources Min Width and River and Stream Corridor Resources. As a property owner, you should be aware that the area inside the risker minimum width, as shown by these blue and sometimes purple outlines, is subject to additional building regulations, while the area outside is more variable and depends on the specifics of your property. If your property falls within any of these areas, you should contact the Department of Building and Development to determine the best way to move forward prior to beginning any projects. Finally, we have the Floodplain Overlay District. In the Contents section, check the box next to Environmental and hit the plus sign to expand more options. Within those expanded options, check the box next to Floodplain. This will create blue areas highlighted on the map, with the lighter blue areas representing minor floodplains and the darker blue regions representing major floodplains. If your property falls within any of these highlighted areas, it means that it is at increased risk of flooding due to potential overflow of a nearby water resource and may be subject to additional regulations. We hope this video tutorial on using WebLogis to identify overlay districts and natural and environmental resources near your property in Loudoun County was helpful. If your property intersects with any of these areas, your construction projects or land disturbing activities may be subject to additional regulations. For further inquiries, please contact the Loudoun County Department of Building and Development at 703-777-0220 or learn more at loudoun.gov/buildinganddevelopment. We're here to help make sure your building project is in compliance with all county ordinances and requirements. Thank you.